Hello and welcome to my initial thoughts of Evolve. Evolve's finally been released. I've been playing that almost non-stop ever since it unlocked. And I'll give my initial thoughts and I'll talk about specifics of the medic and support class and the game in general, pros, cons, what I think of it, and what I kind of have planned for it so far, and kind of go from there. So Evolve, if you don't know what that is it's 4 players against 1 player, 4 hunters against 1 giant monster. Each hunter is a different class. Assault, who mainly does damage. Trapper, who traps the monster mainly. Support, who gives a tactical advantage in some way each. There are 3 hunters per class, and you can choose one of them, having the 4 versus 1. And there's Medic, who focuses on keeping everybody from dying and falling down. It's made by Turtle Rock Studios, who have made Left 4 Dead, so you may notice some similar game mechanics, people getting knocked down, that kind of thing, you need to pick them up, that kind of stuff. I never really got into Left 4 Dead because, well, either my friends play on different consoles, or I just don't really play with anybody. I'm kind of a solo guy. And I've been really enjoying Evolve so far. This game has pretty much what I've been looking for. I understand this isn't everybody's game. It's not going to be the 10 out of 10 game of the year kind of thing. It's kind of a niche thing, perhaps, especially with class-based stuff. It's not really going after the bandwagon type of thing. Kind of doing its own thing, which I respect. I admire that, going their own way, like especially fighting against their publisher. 2K, holy fuck, what a fiasco. Whoever did the call for DLC, like, there is day 1 DLC, but it's all cosmetic. It's just reskins of the characters. To get all the reskins for one class is about $15, roughly, something like that. Like, you can get a pack for a class for $5 or $7.50, something like that. $7.50, kind of like that. So you can get it just for one character for $2.50, I think it is, roughly so. So it depends. It's entirely cosmetic, kind of like the skins for Astronauts. Entirely cosmetic, doesn't change the gameplay whatsoever. And the whole deal with Behemoth, it won't be done for some time. It's not day 1. You just get it early for a discount, early access type of thing. Except that, how do I explain that? Buy before you see it, and you get a discount. That's really the best way I can say it, because you can't play the Behemoth because it's not done. Simple as that. And same for the Season Pass, which I'm not really interested in right now. I want to see what the Hunters look like before I invest further, because I already put $70 just to buy the base game. So I kind of like to know more about what's coming before I put money into that. Will I get the free skins? Maybe. Well, it kind of depends on the views of the channel. And I've been really enjoying the game. So, yeah. For Medic, I've been playing lots and lots of Medic. There are 3 tiers. And the higher tier is the more advanced or more complicated character. Val, she has a sniper rifle. It doesn't deal a lot of damage, but it leaves a weak point in the monster's armor. That if your allies hit that point, then they deal more damage to the monster. She has a tranquilizer gun. It outlines the monster so everyone can see them, and it slows down the monster as well. And she has a med gun, which heals anybody from a really far distance. However, it shows a bright green line to where you and your ally are. Kind of a disadvantage, so the monster can see where you are. But it can heal people pretty quickly, fairly well, and can revive people who have fallen down, but doesn't revive the dead. And all the medics have a burst healing. It heals them and any allies who are close by to them. Heals a little chunk, and it doesn't take too long to refill. Tier 2 is Lazarus. He is a shitty healer. However, he's got a sniper rifle. It's tracerless, like it doesn't show where he's shooting from. Shoots lots, a little bit of that, but I don't think it does as much damage as Val's sniper rifle. So if you're trying to go for more damage, Lazarus is not the guy. However, he has the Lazarus device, which can revive people who have fallen down or died, and they don't get a strike. So if you revive someone who has fallen down, they lose a chunk of their max health once or twice, about a quarter or almost half their health, and the third time they just die. They can't be saved. But the Lazarus device, if used on an ally, they will get up and they will have no strikes. So that kind of makes the Lazarus the main reviver kind of thing. So with that in mind, you kind of have to go in after the monster is dealt with somebody. So you have a cloak. You can use that. It only works on yourself. And the support has cloak. I'll get to that. Tier 3, I just unlocked Kyra. She was a pre-order exclusive for the beta, but she is available to unlock in the full release. Tier 3 is available to everyone. You just have to go through the unlocking phase. You have to deal enough damage with the weapon, or get people to shoot that weak point, or heal enough times, or revive enough times. Things like that. Kyra, she has this gun that either shoots napalm for damage, napalm grenades that does burning damage, or healing grenades, which does burst healing, like little burst healings. Remember, every medic has that burst healing as well. So you can also heal yourself with that. It's more skilled where you have to... It's like throwing baseballs at people. You can either damage up close or far away if you can do well enough with your aim, that kind of thing. Healing, you can heal yourself with that. And she has the adrenaline, which gives her and everyone around her a speed boost. So that works out really well, especially with chasing down the monster. Not so much for escapes, I don't think. Support is much better at escape, which I will get to in just a moment. And nobody really knows about Tier 4. We'll see how that goes down. I would have to say my favorite is Lazarus so far, because I like just watching a fire, but being able to react to my surroundings. Kind of get just knowing what's going on around me. Val, you have to be very active, but it's difficult to know what weapon to have out. Should I be healing people? Should I be tranking the monster? I would like to leave a weak point, but I'm kind of busy healing, or I kind of got to keep a trank in the monster, whereas the tranks only last for a few seconds, something like that. Val is complicated, but she's simple. Easy to play, but hard to master type of thing. She's good, but you really... As for all the characters, you really got to pay the fuck attention. Whereas Lazarus, he's more of a hermit, I keep calling him, but it kind of works. You can either cloak, if you want to go around, like try to find the monster yourself. If you see them, just cloak. Or if people start falling down, cloak and go revive your allies. Because you can cloak while you're invisible, but not while you're reviving if you're using your device. If you're manually reviving, you shouldn't do that, because it does leave a strike if you do it manually. Like, pick them up. Use your device if you're Lazarus. And Kyra seems really good. She seems very useful, but she seems to have a pretty steep learning curve. Aiming your shots. Like, usually medics don't have to worry about aiming shots, but you kind of have to aim as medic, whereas TF2 medic or Voltar even, well, Voltar, you kind of have to aim with the drone and stuff, or just let them shoot. You have to be more active as medic. Just check out your surroundings and react to that. So Lazarus is my favorite so far, but it can be tricky. It all depends on the enemy monster and how good they are and who they're playing. So I'll go on to support. The support gives a tactical advantage in different ways. Tier 1 is Hank. He can provide a shield, which can block any damage that occurs to them, but the battery for the shield wears out pretty quickly. Like, it's good to use it just before they get attacked, so that you can recharge your battery in between uses like that, so get more hits blocked that way. But it shows a beam like Val's med gun that shows where you are. So usually the monster will go for support first to break the support's advantage, because Hank is the only support that can give a shield. That's the thing. So a lot of people think that support can give shields. Only with Hank. The support special I will get to. His secondary is his main offense is this. He has I think it's called a railgun or laser cutter. Laser cutter, that's what it is. And very accurate. Deals lots of damage. But usually you should be using your shield instead. That's why you have that trade-off. You've got a very powerful weapon. Cut apart any monsters that might be threatening, like any big monsters or ones that can leave a buff, the albino monsters. So you usually have to stay with the person who's being attacked and try to keep them going longer. The assault can give shields. That's the class special. They can shield themselves, so you usually just focus on medic and try to keep them alive. So the back seat people have to look out for each other as well, but also paying attention to the front row people. It's usually assault and medic go-in-twos, and the support and trapper. The support shields trapper, so if the monster takes down the trapper, their dome goes down, kind of thing. There's other channels if you want to know more about the assault and trapper. That's not my focus. I'm only going to focus on the support and medic. That's my niche. So his third one, for Hank, is he leaves an orbital barrage, a line of rockets. It's like an airstrike, pretty much. It can deal lots of damage to the monster, but it takes a few seconds. You have to tag a place, hold it, and then a few seconds later, the missiles drop down in that spot. So you really have to line up your shot, either aerial denial or when the monster's evolving, that kind of thing. It deals knockback to your allies. They don't get damaged. I think Hank does get damaged if he gets hit, so it will knock you back. So it's a little tricky to revive somebody unless Val has her mag gun, because she can revive fallen allies, that kind of thing. It's tricky, but if you can get it to land, it works so well. And the support special is that you can cloak, and if your allies nearby, they'll be cloaked as well. It works pretty good for when the battle is starting to look bad for the hunters. You can cloak to escape if you're the last guy living, because the respawn time is pretty crazy. If people start dying, up to 2 minutes, that kind of thing. And you can shield your allies, or, well, not shield your allies, cloak your allies, or cloak someone who's fallen, and make the monster focus on somebody else, and pick up that person, that kind of thing. So there is that kind of like plan B support. Tier 2 is Bucket. His first ability is the rocket launcher. Laser guided rocket launcher. He can shoot about 3 or 4 rockets, I believe, and they will follow the laser on your reticle. So you kind of guide it instead of just shooting straight. I think like Parnell's does. His secondary is that he can leave down mini sentries, kind of thing. You can leave down 5 at once, really good aerial denial. Put him around someone who's fallen down, or just to make a roadblock, that kind of thing. It can work, you just have to think ahead of the monster's steps. And his third one is that his head, Bucket's a robot, by the way. His head pops off, and he can fly around the map with his head. And if he sees the monster, if he can stay on target long enough, he fires a tracking dart at it, and then you will see where the monster is through an icon. So he does well with denying areas, or just pressuring the monster in different ways. And he gives himself and his allies cloaks, if he's within range of them. Catch my breath here. So tier 3 Cabot, I haven't actually unlocked him yet. I haven't been able to complete challenges. I haven't been able to deal enough damage as support. Tracking him, I haven't been doing too bad, but I don't quite have Bucket gun in hand because I've been playing medic the majority of the time, I'll be honest. From what I know about Cabot, he can give a damage buff, twice the amount of damage as long as he has his weapon aimed on him. He can use a railgun that shoots through walls, but the more walls it shoots through, the less damage it does, so directly deals lots of damage, but support has to focus on their abilities instead. This other one is, it's a radiation. It tracks any monster that goes into the area, like little creatures or the big monster. It will outline them, and you'll be able to see where they go, but they don't slow down, unlike Val's Tranquilizer. And he cloaks as well. That's the class special. So I really do enjoy playing these classes, but when you screw up, you really screw up. Like, it's got that Moba sense. You really have to plan together, and I really like the game because it has voice comms. I can communicate with my team instead of trying to stop and type and then be by myself while I'm trying to type and get attacked by something. I can just talk and move and do whatever at the same time. There's dedicated servers. I kind of miss servers. I enjoy playing games that have them. I'll leave it at that. The game has what I've been looking for. Like, it's there's an amazing level of detail to it. I like the look of it. I don't really care for realistic games. I'm more interested in games that have their own world. Like, how do I explain? I don't really care for realism. I just want to escape to other worlds. And Evolve lets me to literally do that. It takes place in the future, but it has that alternate reality type of thing to it. Like, it's not cartoony in the sense that Team Fortress 2 or Osmonauts or Loadout, that kind of thing, where it's the art style fits that. Evolve has that detail to it, but it has that fantasy and science fiction to it as well. So I really do enjoy it so far. I was worried I was going to get tired of it. I'm only tired if I sound tired, because I've been playing the game, let me see, wow, like I'll check my Steam, ever since 1 AM, and it is now 12 AM, so in the past 23 hours, I played for 11 hours. So I slept for about 5 or 6 hours, and I had to go to work for 2 hours, fill in for somebody, and then come back and play Evolve some more. So I'm really enjoying it. I'm just physically worn out. I don't feel burnt out on the game yet. I'm worried about that happening. That's my concern. And I can understand why people don't want to buy the game right now because of the price. Yeah. $70 Canadian is a pretty big entry barrier. And I'm curious to see what the DLC is going to be like. If you have to buy the hunters. I wonder if it's going to be like you have to seriously grind to get tier 4. I'm curious to know that, because I know Behemoth you can unlock if you buy the monster pack, whatever it's called. And I have no idea if you can unlock all the hunters for free, because up to tier 3 come with the game. So we'll see how this goes in the end of the line. So hopefully the community goes strong. I can understand the repetitiveness people are talking about. I don't really see that. Like Dota 2, you do the same thing over and over. Osmonauts do the same thing over and over again. The little things you do in between that keep it fresh. You're able to experiment within that formula like you can with other Moba games and things like that. So I'm really enjoying it, and I'm gonna figure it out. Maybe I'll focus on like strategy guides for characters, gameplays or good gameplays. I'll be streaming this game quite often, and I mentioned Turtle Rock is okay with YouTube videos and streams, so thank you Turtle Rock for that. And I do enjoy this game. Just the pricing, that's the only thing. Gameplay wise, excellent, phenomenal, amazing, super tight. Some bugs here and there, but I'm been able to work around them. Like, it's nothing game breaking, just irritants. That's really it. I'll also add, there's also kind of like a campaign-ish mode called Evacuation. It's the basis of 5 matches. Whoever wins, hunters or monster, something happens in the winner's favor. If hunters win, there may be reinforcements or turrets will go online, or things like that. For monster gets stronger. There's a whole bunch of different things that benefit. But if you lose a lot of matches, you get like a more damage resistance, so it doesn't snowball so bad. There's the usual battle, like the hunt mode. There's rescue mode, where you have to revive fallen survivors and escort them to a dropship point and keep them alive. So if the hunters rescue enough survivors, they win, or the monster kills enough of them, then hunters lose. There's the egg mode, nest mode I think it's called. Similar for what rescue is, but for the monster instead. There's these eggs. If the hunters don't destroy them in time, if the monster hatches them before the hunters can destroy them, then the monster spawns these little minions, like little level 1 creatures, depending on who the guy's playing. I think it's just little level 1 Goliaths. And if the monster hatches enough eggs, then the monster wins. But if the hunters destroy enough eggs, then the hunters win. And the last mode is like a defend mode, kind of like a MOBA-ish game. A couple minions will try to take out these generators. There's turrets if the hunters win the previous mode. Or there's more monsters, I think it is. It's monster wins. I haven't done much for evacuation mode, to be honest. I've mostly just played the basic hunt mode. Just the basic cat and mouse game. And so the rescue mode, that's where the medic really shines, especially Lazarus. So that's really cool. It kind of adds a little refreshment to the game once if hunt is kind of dragging you down, you kind of spice up a little bit. Evacuation mode is supposed to have lots of little factors that changed it up a little bit each time in the course of 5 back-to-back matches. And you can change classes if you want to be monster instead, Or if you want to trade spaces with someone else, play Assault instead of Medic. Things like that. And I did play Cabot for a couple rounds, so I do have footage of him. Yep. So pretty cool, like damage amplifier if you can lock onto him long enough. While you're on him, he takes twice the damage as long as you're targeting him. Dusting, you can detect any creature or monster. And a railgun deals a lot of damage, can pierce walls, but you usually have to focus on something else instead. So those are my thoughts in the extra modes as well. I just wanted to add that in real quick. So I don't have a whole lot more to talk about, so I will leave it at that. And either show good gameplays or just gives advice on what to do. I just want to keep playing Evolve. Once I get this video made, I'm going to go back to playing Evolve. Okay? Okay. So, that's all for now. Thanks very much for watching.